Though the Bayou Corn community is comprised of roughly 350 families, the sinkhole has caused a major fallout between those who have chosen to leave and those who have chosen to stay. While the shelter works with a special one-year budget, parish officials are searching for other ways to find a dedicated source of funding for the shelter and for several other needed services in the parish that lack funding. If passed through the House, the bill will proceed to the governor, where he can either veto it or sign it into law. If signed, the law takes effect August 1st. For Tiger TV, this is Brooke Goodrich. With the gap between the rich and the poor getting bigger and bigger in Louisiana, organizations like St. Vincent de Paul make it a priority to not only open their doors, but also open their hearts to anyone needing any kind of assistance. Dogs of all shapes and sizes came dressed in their Easter best Saturday for a chance to win prizes and to support a good cause. The Anderman Animal Clinic in Gonzales hosted its first annual doggy Easter egg hunt, complete with a costume contest and pictures with the Easter Bunny. All proceeds from the event were donated to the Ascension Parish Animal Control Center. Recent budget cuts threaten the closure of the animal shelter, which also accepts animals from neighboring St. James Parish. The Ascension Parish Government Administration gave the Parish Council Strategic Committee two options: continue funding the shelter or employ only 2 animal control officers. The shelter currently has 6 workers on call 24 hours a day. Animal Control Center Director Michael LeBlanc says the rapid growth of Ascension Parish has created a need for the shelter and more workers.
The challenge is to service all these people with all the different magnitudes of the problems that exist for those people with one animal control officer. Is that unreal? Yes, it is. It's very unreal.
The council voted to continue funding the shelter on a one-year budget, despite a projected deficit of more than $175,000. In an effort to increase revenue, the shelter will charge higher fees for animals impounded and animals picked up. While the shelter works with a special one-year budget, parish officials are searching for other ways to find a dedicated source of funding for the shelter and for several other needed services in the parish that lack funding. Councilman Kent Shake Snyder says that discussions are starting to take place regarding future funding of the shelter.
It's the beginning. It's, and it's formulating whether this is something we want to do or if we want to do anything at all.
While the future remains unknown for the Animal Control Center after this year, the Anderman Clinic and LeBlanc want residents to know how they can help.
Education is a big part. Spade and neutering. God, you can never say enough about that.
For Tiger TV, this is Brooke Goodrich.
I have dreams that she's awake and doing things that she used to do. I couldn't even imagine.
Kelly Fournier nearly chokes up while speaking about her 15-year-old daughter, Sloan, who suffers from the chromosomal disorder trisomy 18.
It means she has 3 of the 18th chromosome. Sloan is a little more special because she doesn't have a whole extra chromosome. She has a piece of an extra chromosome.
Sloan stopped developing at age 6 and began having seizures, which forced doctors to put her on several medications that keep her in a near vegetative state.
She just had a big seizure when she woke up. So this is how she will be for at least the next 8 hours. And she is on her way to school right now.
Fournier is now looking at another form of treatment that could potentially change their lives: medical marijuana.
I know people who've used it for different reasons, for cancer, for seizures, and they've all had really good luck with it.
The Fourniers have now made it their personal fight to gain access to the drug by reaching out to state leaders, including Governor Bobby Jindal.
I've written to several representatives, just letters explaining why we need it. I've actually sent videos to the senators and the representatives who are against it.
Currently, there's a House bill in the legislative session that would allow for the use of medical marijuana. Representative Austin Badon, a co-author for House Bill 720, explains the goal of the bill.
The whole concept is to be able to help people that have certain ailments.
After recent controversy surrounding other marijuana legislation, Representative Badon believes the bill has a long way to go in garnering the support it needs.
I think it's going to be extremely difficult at this point in time for it to pass.
In the meantime, the Fourniers' main goal is to spread Sloan's story and the potential of medical marijuana.
I'm willing to help get access to it to see if it does work. If it doesn't help her, it will help somebody else.
It's very difficult to leave your home. You know, leave everything behind, leave, evacuate, and then go where? You know, it's not like we have a lot of places where you can go.
Dennis Landry has called the small Bayou Corn community home for much of his life. Besides being home to him and his family, Landry also owns cabins, a boat launch, and RV spaces for rent on the bayou. In August of 2012, an unprecedented sinkhole developed roughly 3,000 feet up the bayou from Landry's home and business.
Yep, sinkhole is right there.
It quickly grew in size, engulfing trees, rocks, and anything within the vicinity. Landry says he knew something wasn't right a few months prior to the sinkhole's development when he noticed strange bubbling in the water.
I noticed some unusual bubbling, and we passed it by, then we came back, and I said, nah, this is not right.
Residents along Bayou Corn and neighboring Grand Bayou were issued a mandatory evacuation, but the decision to leave or stay was left up to each to decide.
A mandatory evacuation is just like what's issued in a hurricane. They're going to mandate it. However, they're not forcing people to leave. And quite a few people left that day, but quite a few people have remained, you know.
Although the Bayou Corn community is comprised of roughly 350 families, the sinkhole has caused a major fallout between those who have chosen to leave and those who have chosen to stay.
It's probably the worst thing of all about the sinkhole. It's actually caused a little bit of a division in the community. Some of the people who have left feel like in some way we're not validating their decision to leave by remaining.
By year's end, Landry expects the failed salt dome to fill up and the sinkhole to turn into a lake in the middle of the bayou, ultimately resulting in no real threat to the community. Landry says his biggest fear is people not returning to the area he calls a bayou paradise, but he's optimistic the community will recover.
How y'all doing? Thank y'all.
What will become of the sinkhole in the Bayou Corn community remains a mystery. But for Dennis Landry, the undeniable charm and unparalleled beauty of the bayou will keep him and his family around.
It's just a great place to live.
For Tiger TV, this is Brooke Goodrich.